Welcome back to my Tremors review series, guys. We are on Tremors 3. This was released in 2001. It's funny how they spread out these films and don't have them come out real quick, especially since after the first one they were all direct-to-video. But yeah, 2001, this one is directed by Brent Maddock, but I'm pretty sure it was still written, or at least produced by S.S. Wilson, who directed the first and wrote directed the second and wrote the first film. And, yeah, this brings back a few characters, the main one being Bert from the original two films, played by Michael Gross, and he stars in this one, so this is his big show. Now, unfortunately, in the second film, we didn't get Kevin Bacon back. In this one, we don't get Earl back, so it's just Brett as a one-man show, Bert, sorry, as a one-man show. And we get a few characters, like I said, back from the first one. We get Mindy, which is a surprise, because if you ask me which character to guess outside of the ones I mentioned that was going to be back, the little girl Mindy would not be my guess, but she's like 22 in this, and she's played by Ariana Richards, which I didn't even know until looking up the cast of this third film. That's the girl from Jurassic Park. So Ariana Richards being in Jurassic Park and in Tremors, she's pretty much made a good, like, creature feature career for herself. I'm surprised I didn't see more of that actress in the following years, and I haven't really seen her in anything other than Jurassic Park, to be honest, until this. So, yeah, the little pogo stick girl from the first film was the girl from Jurassic Park. Who would have thunk? I didn't. But this film is called Back to Perfection, so it goes back to the city or the town of Perfection, Nevada, and it's a really good direct-to-video sequel. I think this is an improvement from the second film. Sorry, so the first one is the best easily, and then the second one was good. This one, it rises back up. It does a really good job for what it is for a direct-to-video. Straight to DVD kind of feature anyway. I mean, they couldn't have done a better job in my opinion. And like I said, Ariana Richard, who plays Mindy, is fantastic in this film, reprising her role as an adult character. So what happens here, this film starts off with Bert in Argentina. I don't know what the hell he's doing in Argentina, but it's a really random introduction scene because they don't touch on it like Argentina at all anymore after that, and he's gunning down a bunch of shriekers, they're called, those little monsters that basically evolve from the graboids. They have a name now, they're called shriekers, and he's gunning a bunch of them down with this huge ass Gatling gun. It's a pretty cool scene. Of course, we're heading into CGI territory now. I knew it was going to happen. I knew as soon as I heard, 5 or 6 or however many direct-to-video sequels of Tremors, I knew it was going to go CGI eventually. So we hit CGI territory in this, a lot of it. But it's a balance, because they do throw in some practical effects in this movie still. You get some of the worms that were actually built, and some of the graboids that were actually built. But then you get a slew of them that are very clear CGI. Anyways, he's gunning down these shriekers in Argentina, and then after that, he just comes back to Nevada, to Perfection, where now they turned it into a complete theme park attraction kind of thing, which they hinted on in like the first movie and stuff. But there's this character named Jack in this one, and he's running this whole attraction essentially, where he basically fake outs these graboid attacks, and this one guy is running around with like a steam cannon, and there's little trinkets underneath the soil to make it seem like a graboid's moving and stuff like that. And they try to scare the shit out of audiences that come to, Graboid Central, essentially. And the corner store, or the little shop that was run by Walter Chang, something like that, in the first film, is it his niece? Jodie Chang, anyway, runs it now, and she kind of took over the family business, and she's running that shop now. So, like I said, it's a whole attraction. They even put so much pop culture involving the graboids, so it's literally turned into like a serial of fictional stories with comic books and all kinds of like media, essentially. So what happens is there's an actual graboid attack. Apparently they hadn't come around in a while. A graboid attacks at each one of the employees that work at this attraction thing, And then Bert basically has to fight a bunch of graboids once again with Jody and Mindy involved. And Nancy comes back now. I didn't look up 100% if it was the same actress from the first film, but Nancy, who played Mindy's mom, is back. If it's the same actress, that's pretty awesome, because one thing I do hope that these films continue to do is bring back the original cast who does return. So any characters that they bring on from previous films, it would be cool to see them recast the actors who and actresses who played them originally. So we get another evolving of the creatures. Now, I don't know, it'd be hilarious to see these films go on and then, like, by the later installments, you have just this swarm of creatures, of graboids, shriekers, and this new creature that evolves from the shriekers, apparently, where they can fly now, and they basically, like, shoot flames from their ass, and it's like they're, like, farting through the air kind of thing. It's so over the top, and they look more cool than the shriekers, in my opinion. Like I said in the last review, I really didn't like the design of the shriekers, even though they were practical and designed decently. I just didn't like them as a replacement to the graboids, because I found the graboids so badass, and then you're bringing in these little tiny, you know, pussy looking creatures. It's like, what the fuck. But the fact that they made them able to fly now, and now they can carry around eggs. So apparently it's like a cycle. They evolve into this flying creature and they can carry around eggs, graboid eggs, and then create more graboids, and on with the cycle kind of thing. Also, apparently, after these flying creatures, they call them ass blasters. Yes, good name for them, ass blasters, because that's how they blast off. Apparently when they eat, they also fall asleep, so they do have that weakness. And this film is essentially, after the second act and into the third act, is Bert, Jody, and Mindy just fighting these ass blasters and more graboids kind of thing. We have a plot point where the government comes in, because I'm pretty sure it's Nancy, but it could have been somebody else, calls the government for help, and they come in and they claim that the graboids are an endangered species. Clever plot point to put into the film, but also really random, but that's kind of what makes it funny. Excuse me, because the government tells Bert now that they can't kill these creatures because they're endangered and they're rare, and they want to study these creatures, and Bert jokes around that they want to take him to, like, Area 51, and he's wondering if they want to turn them into weapons and stuff, but essentially they're not allowed to kill these creatures, so they can't go hunting for them. However, Bert makes a deal with the government saying that if one is captured, that if they capture one, if Bert and his team captures one, just like they were doing in the second movie, then they'll be able to kill off the rest, because I think Bert comes to the conclusion that there's like 3. So if he captures one, he can kill off the rest. So they're basically chasing down one of them. Another albino graboid comes in. They start calling him El Blanco, and so they're trying to basically capture El Blanco and try to capture one of the flying creatures, ass blasters, as well. They kind of look like jackals, the ass blasters, which I find a cool look for them, especially compared to the shriekers. So I like how they involved into that, and they give a bigger sense of danger too, because now they can take the air. And also because of their flame blasting through their ass, inside of them, they're very explosive, obviously, so they use this as a tactile to destroy them by they build a potato gun at one point, which they go find like a massive amount of alcohol and build this potato gun, except instead of a potato, they use this flaming arrow to basically destroy these ass blasters. And lucky for them, you would think there would be like a swarm of them, right? Like at the beginning of the film when he was gunning down all the shriekers, you would think there would be like 50 plus of these ass grabbers, where it would be next to impossible to take them all down. But I think there's only like 5 or 6 max that show up. And I just can't get over the whole pop culture idea that they went for with creating like comic books of the grabbers. It's just so funny, and how Jody is like so knowledgeable on the comic book graboid lore. Like you would see like people these days being so into like, you know, zombie lore or ghost lore or vampire lore. She's into, like, she knows everything about the graboids, and there's like fictional stories about the graboids. It's just hilarious. And the whole like public attraction thing, like creating a theme park for over based around these things, is, I just found all of that funny. I ate that all up. Mindy's gorgeous, obviously. Ariana Richards really has this like Alicia Cuthbert look to her. They have this very similar like face and style to them. She really reminds me of Alicia Cuthbert, coming before Alicia Cuthbert, obviously. But yeah, really gorgeous girl, really gorgeous actress. Definitely hope to see her return in future films. And it was funny when the character Jack in this movie starts to hit up Jodie and want to like go out with her, and Mindy's all like, oh, figures, older women, and rolls her eyes. Even though they really look the same age, Jodie doesn't look any older than Mindy does, so the fact that she's like, older women, I'm like, older women by what, 2 years? At least that's how they looked. But yeah, the action in this film is great. A lot of CGI and a lot of green screen, like obvious green screen. So you can tell a lot of the situations in this film were staged and like created artificially. But it's a well done B movie, and a step up from the second, which is, you know, more than you can say for sequels. I mean, usually they start to go downhill. This one, definitely I found more entertaining than the second one, and is one that I would watch a lot more, I think, even along with its CGI, than the second one. So, good job on this one. Very entertaining from the beginning to the end. All the characters were great. The returning ones were, you know, played by the same people, and did a really good job again. And Bert's cool. He's never going to be better than like Val and Earl, obviously. But he's fine. He's fine. Again, he's kind of missing that dynamic that he had with Reba McEntire in the first film. What was it? Bert and... I forget her name. Heather. There you go. Bert and Heather. You're never going to get that dynamic, but he's fine. I don't know, like, if he's the one guy that's going to keep on coming back. From the sounds of it, the fourth one is a prequel, so I'll have to get there to see what it's like, but I don't know if he's going to be like the returning cast member, or if they'll just go into a direction where they recast everybody. We'll just have to see. But anyways, that's the third film, Back to Perfection, in this 6-film steelbook collection. Like I said, I'm doing all 7 films. I'm not going to be reviewing the TV show, but I'm doing the 7 films that have been released currently. So until next one, subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.